Welcome and thank you for joining again. Today we're just going to have some fun and playing with some nail art molds. I have done my homework on using these 3D or 5D molds. And I tried to create and see what the outcome will be. And then I decided to let you in on it and see what my experience was and what you can create. Next one, I've just used the clear top coat to create the rose and the frame. You can use anything within the frame. And for this one, I just created some 3D flowers again. And then I've used the micro beads again. Now I've created a multicolor rose using two colors together. And in order to create our designs, we will need the following supplies. First of all, our silicone molds. I got a few of Shein not too long ago. If you have watched my Shein haul, you would have seen it. Now, these are my first and only molds that I've got to date. And I want to try and learn how to use it. So I'm going to try and guide you from what my findings are. And I had fun playing with these. And I hope it will be helpful to you too. Then we will need a detailer brush. Or any type of brush that you feel comfortable using. It's just to guide the gel into the molds. And then we're going to need a pair of tweezers. And then we're going to need some wet wipes. And I'll explain to you later on why we're going to use these. And then a kitchen towel. And then you're going to need to use your palette for mixing purposes. And in order to use your silicone molds or creations, you're going to need a glue or a structured gel. And then you can use any type of decorations like glitter or the micro beads. And then you're going to use a base coat and a top coat, a no wipe top coat. And then you can use any kind of polish or colors of your choice. These are just the colors that I have chosen for today's demonstration. And these are just a few of the images that I've created this far. And I'll explain these frames to you later on in the video. And these are just a few of the images that you can create with these molds. And you can just play around with your own colors. We're going to start off with this mold with some 3D flowers. You can use your detailed brush just to make sure that you work in the gel and get rid of the air bubbles, and you can just keep on filling it. To make sure, you can turn around the mold to look on the underside to see if you have covered all the spaces. And by pushing in the gel to make sure that there aren't any bubbles. And then just with a dry brush you can clean the sides. And then I'm just shaking it a bit to get rid of the air bubbles. And then we're going to apply a bit of base coat onto our palette. Because we're going to apply a little bit of base coat on top of our image before we're going to cure. And to form your image, you can also apply a bit of top coat in the color that you decide to use before you apply it. It will make it less tacky after curing. And then I cure the image for 120 seconds, which is double the time. Now we're going to try a see-through image and play with a bit of glitter. You can see that I'm scraping this bottle, and it's usually the top coat that I would use with my glitters. If you do use a new bottle, be careful not to get it contaminated with the glitter, and then rather use your palette. And then from what I've learned is best to use a wet wipe to clean your silicone molds if you want to get rid of the polish or any dust, and not to use acetone or alcohol on your silicone molds. It might damage your molds and it might take away the shine or dull the shine. It's best to clean your silicone mold while you work with it with a wet wipe, and once you're done, you can wash and soak it in some warm soapy water. This is the mold that we're going to use or create our frames. The crevices aren't that deep as the others, so you also don't need a lot of polish or product. So I'm going to show you how to use a scraper on this one. So if you do use the scraping method, I just want to show you that it's important to make sure that the sides are clean. See if there are any product on the sides of the image. It will cure and show on your image. And this is what has happened to this one. By scraping but not cleaning the sides. So if you do use the scraping method to make sure that the sides are totally clean before you cure. You can also create your molds or your images with acrylic powder, but creating it with a gel makes it more bendable and easier to apply to your nail. You can see how thin this image is, and it's very easy to apply to the nail. As for this 5D mold, you really need to get into those crevices, and we're going to try and play with two colors. I'm going to start off with a metallic color at the bottom, and then just add another color on top. In order to get a good coverage, you will need to bend your silicone mold a bit in order to really get in there with your brush. I had fun trying out the molds for the first time. I hope you've enjoyed watching and that you might have learned something and that you would give it a try. Thank you for taking the time yet again. Till next time, keep well. Bye-bye.